Hello, mic check, mic check. Is everything good? Let's see the chat if they are okay with it or whether their ears are bleeding or not. Are you guys okay? Let's see.
Oh yeah, I can see there's a little bit of a delay.
Yeah. It's normal to have a bit of a delay, I think, I hope. Okay. Let's see if the mic works. Hello, hello. Are you challenging me? I don't know. Am I challenging you? Welcome, guys, to the stream. Hello, everyone. Uh, my name is Andrew, and welcome to Game Dev's Chatterbox. It's a small series where I chat with some of the really amazing game devs out there and find out more about what it takes to become a better game developer, as well as their personal stories and struggles. I hope that this Chatterbox session will be able to bring you inspiration, insight, and knowledge, which will help you and guide you forward with your game dev career. Today's guest is, there. Today's guest is Tim, aka GameMakerTim, right?
Yeah, GameMakerTim.
GameMakerTim on YouTube. Tim is a game developer and a musician. He has been doing game development as a hobby for about 14 years now and started taking it seriously for about 3 years. He's currently working on his project called Arcade Wizard, which is a game he made for Ludum Dare 44. He has now over 2,000 subscribers on YouTube and has a very engaging community that is constantly involved to his game. I find Tim's video very straightforward and to the point, and also relaxing. It's a very well structured YouTube channel. So Tim, how's it going? Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Oh, good. So tell us a bit about your personal life and how you got started in game development.
Yeah, well, I've always been playing games since a child. And when I was little, I used to draw a lot and think of levels for games and stuff. So I always wanted to make games, but around the age of 14, I finally started actually making. Uh, well, I didn't know how to program or anything, so I just started making games in a program called PowerPoint. It's a program where you can make presentations. Maybe
Wait, you can
a
make
lot of
games
you
on
know it.
PowerPoint?
Yeah,
What?
you can make games on PowerPoint. I made a video on how I did that. So if you're really curious, you can go check it out. It's not pretty, but you can do it.
I'd love to see that. Yeah.
So yeah, well, eventually PowerPoint wasn't sufficient for making the games I wanted because you can only do so much in the program. So yeah, that's when I found a program called GameMaker, and yeah, it has a really nice UI where you can just drag elements like behavioral elements and tell objects what to do when you press a button and stuff.
That's cool. So you don't even really need programming to make games on GameMaker.
Programming at all for GameMaker.
You
Well, I
don't
don't
need.
know how it is nowadays because I don't use it anymore, but I think you can do a lot without programming in it still.
Oh, I see. That's cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
very nice. When did you start your YouTube channel? Like, and how has it been for you so far? What's your experience with YouTube?
I think I started it about a little bit a little bit over a year ago. I think I started actually making videos about my game development. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I didn't think people would actually start watching it at first, but yeah, eventually more and more people kept following the channel. So if any of you are watching my channel who are here now, thank you very much for watching. It's
Oh,
yeah, it's been a lot of fun having a sort of a community growing around the games that I'm making and having people add suggestions in the comments and stuff.
that's definitely really
Yes,
nice.
yeah, it's really nice.
I really like the game dev community, and I think that's one of the main reasons because it's everybody's so engaged in a way as well.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think a lot of people have really interesting ideas as well. So usually in the comments, there's a bunch of stuff that I never thought about that people will mention, and or there's something that a lot of people will mention, and I think like, okay, that might be a good idea since 10 people are already mentioning this right now. So
Yeah,
yeah, it's
yeah.
really nice, really nice community.
Yeah, I think that's great. Like, and also because you'll be able like with this exposure in a way, you'll also be able to gather even a group of playtesters as well as just people who want to try your game, and you'll get a much better feedback, quantitative feedback, right?
Yeah, I well, the first game I released was Head Wizard, and that game was play tested by a couple of friends, and yeah, I think maybe 5 people max who play tested it for me.
Mm.
But now the recent game I'm developing, I opened a beta test on the web, and I posted it to my YouTube. That the link for the beta test, and yeah, over 100 people have play tested it for me and given
Whoa.
feedback and analytics, like how far they got in the game and stuff. So yeah, it's really a different scale all of a sudden.
Yeah, guys. Also, by the way, it's his website, and also all his details will be down in the description as well. I've already posted there, so if you want to check it out, you can. So Tim, tell me. Pardon me if I come across ignorant or disrespectful. Um, if you have like, I'm assuming you're not in school anymore, and you have a job as well,
Nope.
and you have to balance life with game dev. How are you managing the balance between the two?
Well, I work 4 days a week, so usually you will work like 40 hours, but I work 32. That gives me an extra day in the weekend every week. So I use most of my time in my weekend for game development or the band that I'm in. So I
Oh,
think that
cool.
I will put uh, 16 hours a week into my hobbies.
Wow.
So yeah,
Very nice.
that's how I balance it. But just work a little bit less, but enough to pay the bill. Have time for your hobbies.
Yeah, I mean, hobbies are important to make you happy.
Yeah, and also, well, game development does. You can make some money with it, so it's not like it's all just time that I spend purely on my hobby. I can also earn a little bit, and
Yeah,
that will compensate for that I put into it. So.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Um, for example, like you've mentioned that you had several games that you've made, and you're also currently in the making. What is your favorite project at the moment that you're working on?
Yeah, I've been thinking about this question really hard because you already told me you were going to ask this.
Yeah.
Yeah, not really sure because I'm really excited about the project that I'm working on right now, Arcade Wizard. Mainly because it's really different from the stuff that I did before. So before I made a couple of Head Wizard games, and they were all puzzle platformers.
Okay.
So it's really exciting making like an action based game now and with upgrades, and it's totally different animal right now.
It
So
definitely feels different
yeah,
for sure. Priorities are different
yeah,
as well.
yeah. But I think yeah, I'm also really excited going back to Head Wizard when this game is done. So yeah, I'm not sure which one is my favorite. It's really hard to choose.
Mm, mm, for sure. They're both very precious to you. I know that for sure.
Yeah.
Is there a habit that you think contributed to your success so far?
Um, well, I think maybe the habit of just putting in time playing around with stuff. Um, Usually, when I have time off, I will either do something productive or relaxing. But a lot of the time, I will just play around with stuff. So, for instance, Hat Wizard, I created that game. It was at first just a platformer where you could throw your head with your mouse. It was a little bit different,
Mm.
but I've been playing around with a bunch of mechanics until I found something that was really fun to play. So yeah, I think just toying around with the things that I make is has helped me a lot in finding creative things.
Mm. So experimentation, basically, just a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah,
experimenting, random things. Be random and be bold and be creative in a way.
yeah. Like easier to accidentally find something that is really fun than to think of something and then implement it. Like trying out 10 different ideas will probably result in something pretty fun. So
Yeah, yeah.
that's what I.
That's great. What is the best piece of advice you have ever received from someone? By the way, it can also be
Um,
non-game dev related if you want. Like any, it can be anything that you think that really helped you throughout your life and career.
yeah, I think, well, the best piece of advice was from a video by Extra Credits.
Oh, I
It's a
love
YouTube
them.
channel that game stuff. So yeah, and they had this video where they say like, if you're just starting out and with game development, just make something that's really small, that's way smaller than you think that you can make, and just finish it through the end. And it can be like a 5 minute web game or anything, but just finish a game at least.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what actually started uh, moving me in the direction of being able to take game development serious instead of just a hobby with a bunch of unfinished projects.
So a good
So yeah, I
starting
would rate.
point.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think extra credits. Yeah, their advice was the most useful up until now. I think
I really love them,
they
and
have
I.
a.
Sorry, would you
Hmm?
say?
Yeah, they have a bunch of videos with good advice. So yeah, if you want, go check them out. Anyone in the who's viewing.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like them as well. I think they're one of the first YouTube channel that I watched that really inspired me and made me want to pursue game development for real and take it seriously. Um, Now, on to the next question, which is quite the opposite yet similar. What is the biggest mistake that taught you a very good lesson?
Hmm. Yeah, I think when I released Head Wizard One, the first game,
Mm-hmm.
all of a sudden it kind of blew up on Kongregate, and I thought, wow, people are really liking this. They want more stuff, so I'm gonna put in an extra challenge level. And yeah, I kind of rushed out that level, so I didn't really play test it with friends like I usually did. So I kind of abandoned the normal workflow, and yeah, it resulted in a lot of angry players because the level was way too hard.
Wow.
So yeah, I think that mistake really taught me that if you have like a workflow that really produces like quality stuff, then just stick to that workflow and don't all of a sudden abandon it because you get greedy and want to rush out something.
Mm, I see. I see. So basically, have patience and make sure you are putting a lot of effort on paying attention at your game in a way. Is that what you mean,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I think try to avoid getting greedy and wanting to do something really fast. Like always aim for quality at least.
Mm, quality is important. And now this question is more like to help out the younger devs who are or who people who haven't started yet. If you had to start from zero again, what would you do step by step on becoming a great game developer?
Um, I think the first important, well, maybe do you mean like solo developers or like
Anything.
if you want a
Just
team?
your attempt. If you imagine that you had to start from zero again, having all the knowledge that you have, of course, and what would you do step by step on becoming a great game developer?
I think at first I would recommend um, playing around with tools and learning how to actually make a game. Um, because yeah, in the end, the game is the product, and that's the most important part.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would advise that if someone's really just starting out at step one, learn to make games. And it doesn't really matter what technique you use, as long as the game that you produce is really fun. yeah, I think that gives you a lot of valuable knowledge.
Mm. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's a great response. And now we kind of reached to the end. Any last piece of advice or guidance you'd like to give to the game devs out there? And tell us how we can connect with you.
Um, well, you can connect with me through YouTube. Like I believe there's a bunch of links going to be in the description of this video.
Yes.
Also, I have a Discord, so maybe I can send you the link that you can post it in the description as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, and like advice, I think one of the most important things is that developing games is really fun. So you have to always aim for making games that are fun for you to play, because then you can really put passion into your project. And yeah, I think that's the most important, because otherwise you would just create like soulless things that don't
Yeah.
really have character.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially if you are a developer, I think you can add a lot of your own character to your games if you're like a solo indie dev or something.
It's like I guess in that way you say it, it's like any other form of art, like a painting or like music. You know when someone plays something a certain way or someone draws something a certain style, you know that it has the elements from that one person that made it in a way.
Yeah, yeah, I think it's really true for game development that it is an art form.
Yeah.
Well, just look out into the ocean of games that's out there, like all the different genres and art styles and different emotions you can experience in the games. It's yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah. Well, that is great. That's wonderful. Thank you so much for this amazing session. Now we're gonna fall under the Q&A. We're going for some Q&As. So if anybody's watching and have some questions, feel free to ask them now. I better drink some water as well. I have a question for you actually. Tim, I've already asked
Yeah,
you
okay.
enough questions, but I have another question. What is your favorite game of all times?
Ooh,
It's a tough one.
uh, it's a tough one. I think probably The Legend of Zelda: Majora's Mask.
Oh my God, that is my animator. Well, it's he's my best friend, but yeah, that's his favorite game as well. I know
Yeah,
that for
it's
sure.
really I love it.
Let's say Doorbell said makes sense. If you don't like your own work, how can you expect others to? And if you really like and enjoy your own project, it's easier to stay passionate. I completely agree. the
Yeah.
the Fat February asked, "How do you make games in PowerPoint?" You can watch one of Tim's videos. I think he has a video for that dedicated just on teaching you how to make games on PowerPoint.
I, I, I can go over the basics of it really fast,
Okay, yeah,
maybe.
sure, go for it.
So in PowerPoint you can make slides and you can have them autoplay the next slide in like 100 milliseconds or something, 1/10 of a second.
Hmm.
So that way you can create animations, and what you can do is like have an animation that ends on a slide, and then have a couple of like links in the screen that correspond to actions, like maybe a link to attack and a link to like defend.
Oh, I
Then you
see.
can link to another animation that just starts another sequence of slides. And that way you can, it's really tedious work, but you can make a game out of it,
Oh
like
my God.
an interactive story, you know, like the Telltale games and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, I can picture it more for Telltale's games, but yeah, I was just thinking, how do you make an action-based game on PowerPoint? Like, how do you make Space Invaders on PowerPoint? Can you make Space Invaders on PowerPoint?
I'm not sure, maybe.
Maybe, but that's probably like a whole lot of work, unnecessary work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I gave up PowerPoint when I started trying to make an RPG, because I had to make like every possible combination of attacking and blocking and stuff like that. So
Oh,
I thought,
wow.
you know, This is not working.
Yeah. uh, so my best friend animator, he said a man of great taste. So because you said Majora's Mask was your favorite game of all time. The Fat
Yeah.
February asked, oh, sorry, what?
No. I
Oh,
didn't say.
so the Fat February asked, what is your first step when making a game?
I think the first step is like I'm doing something totally not game related, like taking a shower or going for a walk somewhere, and then all of a sudden an idea pops into my head, and then I just start making like a really small basic prototype in Unity,
So just
and
experiment when you have the idea, make a prototype.
yeah, I
So the
have
first
a
step is
bunch
make a
of those.
prototype.
Yeah,
I'm noting
yeah.
them down. Oh, I see. That's great. Dor Dora Dor asked, "Do you have any tips on for finishing a game? Let's say if you're on the last 5% and you're a bit lost on the final touches."
Yeah, so one thing you can do is like be really critical of if the 5% is actually needed to finish your game. Because what I did with my first game was like I had a really big to-do list of stuff that was still required to finish up the game. But at some point I just said, well, the game is just done as it is. I can just put it online like this. So sometimes the best thing to do is just put it online and see how people react. And maybe the 5% you thought was really important isn't even important anymore.
I see. Yeah, that's a pretty good tip actually. Because, for example, for me as well, our game that we're currently making, Tadpole Tales, we are, in terms of mechanics, we're done. But because there's always this tendency of wanting to add more and wanting to expand the game, we're always questioning like, we're in this final touches, right? Like, are you supposed to, or should we add more? And we have to like hold our grounds to not keep on adding stuff and then filling the 5%, if that makes sense.
You can also, because I did a beta test like a week ago um, that I
Oh,
thought was really important for this game. But
right.
well, no really mentioned some of those points. So like doing a test with people with a large group can also give you useful information for the game.
I see. I see. Um, let's see. Santonandre, very cool name. How can you tell when your games are ready to publish?
Um, well, I think as with any yeah, I think what's really important games ready to publish is like having people playtest it. So I keep mentioning playtesting, but yeah, it's really
Playtesting.
important.
It's very important
If,
for sure.
yeah, I think
Because
if people are playing your game and are like, "Oh, it's over already" or something like that, well, then it's probably ready to publish because people really enjoy it.
yeah,
So
yeah. I see. That's really nice. Yeah. Um, the Fat February asked, well, if you could collab, make a game with any other YouTube developer, which one would it be? That's pretty situational, but yeah. Do you have an answer for
hmm,
this?
um,
You're
not
working
sure.
solo from what I know, right? You're a
Yeah,
solo
I'm working
developer.
uh, solo for the most part, but my fiance is helping with the story, and I'm also hiring someone to do the sound effects.
Oh yeah, I
And
see.
someone who's also in the comment section, he asked a question before, Santo Andre. He had made some fan art, so he's now doing the intro story art. So
What a legend.
small, I'm getting help from other people,
Very
but
nice.
I forgot what was the question.
If you could collab with someone, who would you collab?
Oh
But
yeah.
you answered that. You're basically collabing with the community already. So yeah, that's a very good answer. Yeah, it's very nice. Let's see. I think that's kind of all the questions now. Yeah, those were really wonderful questions, chat. So well done on that. But I think we're kind of reached up one to the end. If there's anything you'd like to promote or say, Tim, uh, you can do so. But I think we've
Well,
covered almost everything.
yeah, I think so too. Well, we can promote this channel, so there's more interviews like this on the channel, right?
Yeah, yeah, there is. I also do game dev stuff myself, so this is like something I added on to because I I thought that it would be nice to reach out to people like you and just find out more wonderful stories about people making games. So yeah, that's my aim for this Chatterbox thing. But yeah, I think we've reached to the end. Thank you so much, Tim, for being such a wonderful guest.
Yeah, thank
I
you.
wish you best of luck with your game, Hat Wizard, as well as Arcade Wizard. I can see that you're very passionate about wizards.
Yeah, yeah,
I
wizards are.
Man, they're so cool. I love wizards too. So I will definitely be playing your game when it's out as well. I will also probably request for beta access because I'd like to try out your game. And for those who are in the chat, and if you're not subscribed to Tim, please do so because his content is really good. And yeah, with that being said, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I wish you all a great, what day is it? It's a Thursday. I wish you all a great Thursday. And yeah, I think that's it. Thank you guys so much. See you.